Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Vision Pros Live. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. So glad you're here. I'm so glad that you're in this conversation. Why? Because on this show, we're talking with people with vision. We're talking with people who had a had a story in their mind and they took efforts and deliberate action to create that in the physical realm. Today on the show, we're talking with Christian Helms. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Fletcher.
Hey, my pleasure. Hey, before we dive into what you do and who you are, let's start off with a win. Let's start off with something that's going well. There's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of suffering in the world. I like to remind people that there is still good in the world. What's right with the world is always available. What's wrong with the world is always available. It matters where we place our focus. So, what's something that's been going well for you?
So, our agency at the moment is working on brand collaboration between Nilla wafers, those sort of vanilla wafers in the iconic yellow box, and Star Wars to launch essentially Baby Yoda blue Nilla wafers. And so, we're working with the Disney team and Star Wars and Nilla, and it's just how often do you get to reach back in time? Year old you. So we're pretty excited about that at the moment.
Wow, two iconic brands, right?
Super
That
fun.
That is so cool. That's got to be really fun. I can't wait to see the advertisement and see what y'all come up with. That's cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, right on. Christian, you are the founder of Helms Workshop, and for those of our viewers or listeners who are not familiar with what you do, tell us a little bit about what your company does.
Yeah, absolutely. So we build and launch brands for all sorts of different clients and a variety of industries. But we're one of the rare agencies that gets to work on really fun stuff, and we don't take that for granted. So we work with Nestle, Diageo, Target, MTV, Tecovas, Howler Brothers, all these really spirited, fun, exciting brands that are out in the world.
Yeah, I went to your website, and your website is fantastic. I mean, I encourage people to visit you at helmsworkshop.com. Helms is HELMS. Go to helmsworkshop.com because this is a fantastic website. There are all sorts of websites out there, and this one captures your attention. You're telling the story of all the brands you're working with, and it's very engaging. Nicely done, by the way. Um, but the show is called Vision Pros, and we're interested in what your vision is. Many of our listeners are visionaries and they are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people in the business world who are efforting to take that clarified story and bring it into the physical realm. So I
Mhm.
want to ask you, what is your vision?
Yeah, absolutely. So I build brands, but really I think about my job as creating moments of wonder, these little moments of surprise or delight, or insight that kind of stick with people throughout the day. And that can be through a big environmental design, it can be through a piece of packaging, it can be through a clever ad or any of those things. But really, my purpose and my vision is to create things that bring joy and value to people's lives.
Wow, that's fun. I
Yeah, it
mean,
should
right?
be.
Yeah, I mean, there are not a lot of people that when I ask them what their vision is, give me the answer you just gave me.
Well, it took a
Um,
lot of work.
mhm.
I Years ago, I got hit with Lyme disease and was pretty much knocked out of commission for a couple of years. So when I was able to get healthy again, I had to kind of rebuild my life. And I used a lot of the principles of branding to kind of craft my vision and my purpose and my North Star and all of these things. I kind of used the tools I use for brands every day to figure myself out as well.
Right on. Yeah. I love that you said your vision is to build wonder and bring delight and allow an experience of joy for people. I've been a professional magician for 35 years, and one of the absolute number one reasons I got into magic was because of what you just said. I love the experience of delight and wonder and
Absolutely.
awe, right? Because, especially as adults, um, that moment of awe and wonder and joy is not it's more fleeting than it used to be as a child, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so many things used to bring awe, and, that's still one of the things as an adult that, you see a good magic trick, and there's that moment right after, the
Yeah.
card is revealed or whatever, the climax of the trick. And for that brief moment of just a few seconds, your brain is confused. It can't reconcile what it just saw,
Yep.
right? And there's that moment of like, and frequently people will say the words that come out of their mouth is, how did you do that? Because they simply can't understand it, right? So it's the only
Yeah.
thing left for to say, like, I can't make sense of that. How did you do that? And so I love that moment of awe. I mean, I've been a magician for 35 years. I still love to be fooled. I
Yeah.
love that moment.
Yeah,
Um,
it's cool. I think what you do, what I do, what comedians do is essentially is take people down a path that they expect and then quickly switch them over to something unexpected. That could be a
exactly.
magic trick. It could be a joke. It can be a little piece of a brand. It's a joyful thing.
Yeah, I love walking through, the airport or shopping malls for the very reason of looking at all the taglines, all just like what you said, like you have a message and then they flip the switch, right? And there's like
Yeah,
something unexpected or clever. And as we all know, and especially you, like when you land on that bit that's magical, oh my gosh, it can propel a brand into like, incredible things, yeah?
absolutely. The best versions of that essentially get past the functional benefits of a brand or product, right? And
Mm,
get into the emotional and the social benefits, how it makes me feel about myself, what it says about me to other people. And yeah, if you can create those, it's a really special thing. Um, yeah,
yeah, and you just nailed it on the head, right? Where you as a brand guy are interested in meeting people at an emotional level. Is that accurate?
absolutely. Yeah, a real genuine connection on an emotional level.
Yeah, because most of us know, a lot of us think we're above this. A lot of us think we are, "Oh,
Not
that
a
doesn't apply to
good.
me." But right? But we always are buying based on emotions. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, walk down now in the grocery store, right? Olive oil. There's 30 different varieties. So at that point, you're buying brand as much as you're buying the olive oil. It's all generally the same stuff within a quality tier, and people will make the decision based on brand. We had a sparkling water brand we did years ago. And it had all these really cool flavors like pickle and jalapeno pineapple, and it was really fun. But the plain sparkling water that that we branded for them outsold like the grocery store in-house thing that was twice half as expensive. And it's all water with bubbles. Like there aren't dramatic differences. People are buying the brand.
Yeah, they really are. That is such a great example, because I think I was at the lake the other day, and I think I saw someone's can, it said "Liquid Death,"
Yep.
and right, and I hadn't heard of it before, so, I took a closer look, and it was just water, and I was like, "Wow, okay, Liquid Death." I mean, nothing to do with water, but sounds intriguing, sounds dark and ominous or something,
Yeah.
right? And it met that person emotionally and engaged him, and he purchased.
Absolutely. You won't forget that brand when you run across it. It's just
No.
too peculiar. And it's a really great example of lateral thinking versus linear thinking, right? Landing on a
Tell me a little
solution.
bit more about that, what you
Yeah,
just said.
definitely. So linear thinking is really important to life. Like we know A leads to B leads to C. Lateral thinking is like A leads to baseball bat leads to crocodile. It's taking you a few steps away from what's expected, and it puts your mind in a different place where you can come up with solutions that are unique or different or surprising.
Got it, got it. Is it in a sense like a word association almost?
It can be. There's a really great book by a guy named Edward de Bono called The Thinking Course, and he basically just teaches you all these tricks to kind of snap your mind out of linear thinking and into lateral. A good example is we do a lot of naming for brands. If you think in a linear way about naming, you get IBM, International Business Machines. Sure, that describes what it is, but nobody's going to wear that on a T-shirt. There's nothing sexy about it. We just branded a huge entertainment destination chain that has like movies, bowling, games, restaurant, bar. And it had previously been called EVO Entertainment, which nobody's excited about. We renamed it Hooky with the idea of like ditch the everyday, get out and connect and play. And it's been a huge hit for them. So
Mm.
proud of the client for going with the name Hooky.
That's cool, yeah, what a great contrast from EVO, which doesn't mean anything to me,
Right.
uh, to hooky, which immediately brings me back to playing hooky from school, like,
Absolutely.
right? This idea of skipping out on something boring and going to do something fun and maybe a little mischievous or something I'm not supposed to be doing, right? That's
Yeah, but then
cool.
you cut to me having to go to the Hutto City Council meeting because one parent on the board is saying, "You're encouraging my children to play hooky. This is awful." And I had to stand up and explain the name, and that is not a part of my job that I want to do again.
Oh, that is funny. That is yeah, there's always gonna be somebody who, like, has this other viewpoint that's like, "Oh, come on, man. It's just we're just being light
Absolutely,
and
and
fun here."
if you're trying to build brands that please everybody, you're going to fall short. To do something that everybody kind of feels okay about, that's how you get EVO cinema, right? Like nobody's intrigued by it, but nobody's offended by it. No one is has to take a minute to wrap their head around it. But if you can do something like Hooky that and have a really great story behind why that's the name, it's so much more resonant with folks.
I like that statement you just said, and I invite our listeners to really hone in on that. What you said was, if you're looking to create a brand, or a name that appeals to everyone, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, so you're gonna be spinning your wheels. So you're gonna have to be bold. You're gonna have to make a decision at some point, right?
Yeah, the example I use a lot with clients is called the ice cream party. If you put 15 kids in a room and you say, you're all getting free ice cream, but you have to agree on a flavor, guess where you're going to land? Chocolate, every time, maybe vanilla. But you're not going to get something like Rocky Road or Jamocha Almond Fudge or the really interesting Ben and Jerry's flavors, right? And like that's what we want to do as a brand is something that is different and stands out. And it's okay if there are folks who don't like it, if there are a lot of people who really love it, you know?
Mm, mhm, mhm. So this is great. There's again, our audience is largely people in business, entrepreneurs, who are scaling or looking to scale, who are struggling with a brand identity.
Mhm.
So sounds like, I mean, of all the people I've interviewed around this topic, I mean, you guys are head and shoulders above. I mean, just when I go to their website, check this out. Okay, it's helmsworkshop.com. And one of their lines right when you get there, it says, "It's time you had an unfair advantage."
100%.
Right? I mean, that is a bold statement. Who doesn't want the unfair advantage? If someone is finding themselves at this point in their business and they need to have this conversation, what's the best way to reach you, and what does it look like to begin that conversation with you?
Yeah, definitely. Usually it comes via email through our website. Folks find us in a myriad ways. But we get an initial email and then we schedule an initial consult where we just ask a lot of questions, learn everything we can about who they are, what they do, why it matters, where they want to go, what problem they're looking to solve. Then we essentially build a proposal for how that process would work and dive in. And the first thing we really do is strategy where we get in and learn everything we can about the company, the competition, the culture, all those things, so that we can start to mine these little insights, these little gems that make them special and different.
Mhm, mhm. What if someone's had their brand for some time? Is it I mean, is it ever safe or a good idea to change up brand identity?
It absolutely can be. I wrote an article last year about essentially how to evolve a heritage brand. And the word evolve is really important. The new brand needs to ladder back to a lot of the things that are that heritage aspect of the brand, but also take a bold step into the future. Done the right way with care, refining and relaunching a brand can be absolutely transformational for for a company. Done the wrong way, and you get the Cracker Barrel scenario that happened last month, where there was absolute outrage because they essentially folks felt like they had lost any of the personality or heritage that the brand had.
No, really, I hadn't heard about that. That's interesting. Yeah, because and as I think about brands that I've been accustomed to over the years, I'm even thinking about Safeway. You know, I remember they updated the look of their S. There are things that people do, and it's probably always risky, but it's an attempt to stay relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can keep the personality and the culture and the heart of the brand in the new work, you build a bridge for people who were fans of the brand before to find that thing that they love again. Our
Mm,
goal is always when we refresh a brand is that I want the brand to be 100% itself more than it ever has been. I want people to look at it and go, man, that is even more Nilla Wafer than Nilla Wafer used to be. Like they really doubled down on the things that make them special.
yeah, yeah. Very cool. It sounds like you have a wealth of knowledge in this area, and I have no doubt that that's accurate. Um, you've been in it for a while. You've been working with some incredible brands, and it looks like from your website having a lot of success. Um, what what would you say to like somebody who's new and is it they don't have a big budget? Where could they go besides like Fiverr and I mean, or Canva? I mean, is a small business, can they reach out to you as well and have that conversation?
Absolutely. And we do a lot. A lot of our work is just advising folks on the best way to get where they want to go. And that is free in the initial meeting. There is no charge for that. And sometimes folks don't have a budget that's big enough to work with us, and we will
Mhm.
refer them to a better solution that we trust.
I love that. Thank you for saying that. That just what that does tells me is that you guys have a lot of integrity. Like, so yeah, we may be not a good fit for you because of budgetary reasons, but we do know this other outfit who we can confidently refer. I love it when companies are willing to just say that up front and then send us in the right direction. So thank you for
Yeah,
that. That's cool.
it's really important to try to allocate a decent budget for building your brand. Budget branding is a dangerous thing. It's kind of like sushi and dentistry, right? Like pay full price for that stuff. Don't pick the cheapest option out there because you're not going to
Yeah.
be happy with where you land.
Yes, yes, I've had that experience in both in both of those categories.
Yeah, so have I.
So, Christian, so great to talk with you. Again, the company is Helms Workshop. They specialize in branding and refreshing your brand and consultation about brand. So, if you are thinking, man, this is something I need. We've been thinking about this, or I've been confused about which direction to go.
Yeah,
Hey, talk with an expert. Talk with somebody who's got the experience, who you can potentially work with, or if you're not ready to work with them, they're going to point you in the right direction. Love that, Christian. Thanks for being on the show today and sharing your vision and expertise. Any closing remarks before we wrap up?
I don't think so, Fletcher. I really enjoyed this. You're a great interviewer. You have awesome insights. I love the magic connection and the fact that we do very different things, but we do very similar things at the same time.
Right on, right on. Well, thanks again and best wishes to you. And now it's time for you all to get out there. Be a source of kindness, be a source of contribution. You do have something to offer this world, and I believe in you.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.